I want to thank CuriosityStream for sponsoring this video. Welcome to our first video in 2021. No better way to start than with a nice cup of coffee and some planning. A couple of months ago, I announced my new hybrid planner system for 2021. A combination of a Hobonichi planner and a full digital knowledge database for long-term planning that I'm hosting via Notion. I've never used a Hobonichi before, so I wanted to test drive it last week, get my hands on it, and basically see how much I could accomplish in a very minimal and simple way, which, has been my favorite way to do things lately. But first things first, let's discuss some supplies. I think I searched for a cover for weeks before I finally found something I was very happy with. I knew I didn't want a bulky Hobonichi cover since I really don't care for the pockets, the slots, and the detailing that they usually have, and most of the compatible covers I found were also too colorful or rustic looking. While browsing through Etsy, I found this store called Nobuku, which is based in Spain, and while the A5 Hobonichi cover wasn't available through Etsy, I was able to order it through their website. It arrived really quickly, and I think it looks lovely and fits the notebook perfectly. My Hobonichi cousin is an Avec edition, meaning that each notebook covers only 6 months, making it lightweight and easy to carry. But this cover definitely holds the standard cousin version of the planner, as well as other A5 notebooks in case you have one of those. One of the principles I adopted almost 2 years ago was to minimize my writing supplies and just use a black or blue pen that I really enjoy for planning, with one exception that I will talk about in a minute. One of the reasons I dropped bullet journaling in general was my self-imposed ridiculous perfectionism. And for me, completely ditching most stationery is a way to remind myself that I plan for the efficiency and to get my life together, and not because I want everything to look perfect. So the pen I'm using here today is a Staedtler Fineliner in 0.3. They usually come in packs, so you can save quite a bit of money if you order them in bulk. If for some reason this pen is not available, I'm also a fan of the Uniball I-150 or the Muji 0.38 gel pen, and both come in packs as well if you're looking to save some money. As I said, there is an exception to my minimal stationery principle, and that is my color code. I have 3 colored highlighters that I use to highlight timestamps and create small marks to categorize my tasks. These are the vintage highlighters from Staedtler, and they're perfect for this purpose. The Hobonichi cousin has something in particular that I absolutely love. It has monthly, weekly, and daily templates. This allows me to mix and match different time management systems. Although I mostly require daily planning, as I usually have a bunch of household tasks to do, as well as tasks related to my job and my YouTube channel on a daily basis, I really enjoy the ability to see my weeks and months at a glance and use those templates in case I'm on vacation and don't require an intense planning routine. As I'm a huge fan of calendar blocking, that is, the act of assigning a task or event for each slot in your schedule, I use the weekly view to do this exactly. I clearly define which time is spent for work, leisure, chores, etc. Whenever I have meetings, events, appointments, or scheduled calls, this view is tremendously helpful to understand at a glance how much time I have available to finish my remaining tasks. Usually, whenever I need to schedule something in my planner, the weekly view is my go-to resource. And that's because while monthly allows me to mark the day, it's more created for all-day events than hourly events, and most of my appointments are actually usually hourly. I use the left column to write down weekly tasks that don't have any specific day or hour to be completed. I either leave those in the nameless column or simply assign them a specific day and hour in case they require a little bit more structured planning. My morning and evening routine also goes to my weekly view as part of the calendar blocking system that I'm using. Once again, it's just a visual aid to get a better perception of the time I have available for other things. You can now see that I'm actually using color here. Yes, despite the whole minimalism thing, I do enjoy using color in an efficient way. In this case, I'm marking dedicated time slots: gray for personal, brown for work, and blue for YouTube. With my pen, I'll then add details to whatever task or appointment I have in that time slot, but using color is a great way to see in which mindset I should be at each given time. Leisure mindset, business mindset, work mindset, and so forth. Daily planning is still the most essential part of my planner, and what drew me to that Hobonichi in the first place. You see, I really like lists and I feel enormous satisfaction in writing my to-do list in the late evening while I'm sipping a cup of tea, thinking about the possibilities and challenges that the next day will bring me. There are a few rules on how you should be writing a to-do list if you're looking forward to a more mindful and thoughtful time management routine. Categorizing your tasks or creating secondary to-do lists is an important aspect of your time management skills because it's a very useful way to see at a glance whether you're managing your time and effort intelligently. As you've seen in my weekly view, I have 3 main categories of tasks and events: personal, work, and YouTube, and these are my main time management categories. Each day I create small or big tasks that go to each one of those lists, and I try to do it thoughtfully, balancing those 3 as much as possible, as the 3 are very important parts of my day and should be managed without detriment to the others. Of course, that balance is not always perfect or easy to achieve in any way, and in some days it's more difficult than the others. And that takes us to rule number 2. Subdividing tasks in advance makes monumental tasks look much easier to tackle. It also makes your to-do list a little bit more transparent. You may have one task in your to-do list, but if that task is writing a 100-page report, then it completely exceeds the workload and will unbalance your other categories of tasks, and consequently, your free time as well. By breaking down your tasks into smaller ones, you check in with yourself and recalculate how much time you've actually got left to dedicate to other things or other categories. We've come full circle back to calendar blocking. A task will always be unachievable if you forget to assign it to a time slot in your schedule. Unless it's a really quick task, like writing a short email, which you can tackle between assignments. Assigning your tasks a time slot doesn't mean you need to define a strict time frame to achieve it. You can simply decide the hour or even time of the day when you think it would be reasonable to start working on a task or complete it. That's why a lot of planners are actually organized into morning, afternoon, and evening, instead of an hourly template. I mean, your time slot can be more or less limited, but it's the act of committing to its completion on a specific block of your schedule that will grant you the structure you need. My monthly spread is incredibly simple, and it usually only features a couple of important events like birthdays, holidays, traveling, and so on. The events I mark in my monthly spread are usually all-day events, meaning that they aren't assigned to a specific hour of the day. Overall, this spread acts more as a dashboard of my month instead of a complex planning system. In case you're curious on how I'll be using Notion alongside my Hobonichi planner, you can watch my 2021 full setup, which I link down below. If you want to watch that video without the ads, as well as your favorite YouTube's educational and productivity videos, then you can start watching Nebula, which is an ad-free streaming video platform built by and for independent creators like me, Thomas Frank, Ali Abdal, Minute Physics, Real Engineering, Tierzoo, and so many others. The more interesting thing about this opportunity is that we've teamed up with CuriosityStream. That means that with your CuriosityStream account, which is really affordable, you get a completely free Nebula subscription. While Nebula is a platform for educational and content creators, CuriosityStream is a streaming service with thousands of documentaries and non-fiction titles. So if you want to learn more about coffee, red pandas, or even rainbows, among many other things, the price is under $15 for a whole year. Until tomorrow, that is. Getting this bundle now makes sure you are watching amazing documentaries and series, as well as great videos from your favorite educational creators. If you're interested in joining, all you have to do is click the link in the description box below to get this exclusive bundle until tomorrow. I really hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you next week. Bye guys!